Hello, and welcome to Tokyo Fashion Express. I'm Harry Sugiyama, and I'm your host. So the quality of Japanese textiles is recognized around the world, but today you'll meet someone who travels around the whole of Japan to where these textiles are actually born. He is Shinya Miyaura, and his dream is to let the world know about the tradition, the craftsmanship, and also the powers that these textiles actually have. So, let's have a look at his passionate efforts.
Fashion curator Shinya Miyaura may very well be deemed most knowledgeable when it comes to the state of Japanese textile production regions. Each year, he travels to nearly 200 factories with a mission to connect local craftspeople with fashion designers.
It begins with seeing each factory in person and speaking with the artisans.
After graduating from a fashion design school in Tokyo, Miyaura traveled to the UK with dreams of becoming a designer. It was there that he realized how acclaimed Japanese textiles were. Turning his passion and focus to the textiles themselves, Miyaura returned to Japan and began visiting production regions around the country.
Traveling to the regions allowed me to see they're all dealing with the same issue. Skilled artisans are becoming older, and the division of labor among factories is forcing many of them to go bankrupt and shut their doors, and local unions aren't functioning effectively.
Miyaura is visiting one of those regions today. This factory specializes in lace knitting. The area used to boast a bustling lace textile industry. But many of the factories have shut down, and very few are capable of making the torchon lace produced here. The textile is known for intricate patterns that require a specific knitting machine. Artisans then sew strips of lace together into a unique textile. Miyaura is instantly taken with the technique.
This looks three-dimensional. That's incredible.
What does the factory look to do with these innovative new fabrics? A key part of Miyaura's job is to sit down with factory owners such as Koei Wada and hear their vision for the future.
We can sit in front of machines all day, and all we can produce is a technician's fabric. But when we receive input from designers, from the people who actually use the fabric, and incorporate their opinions, we're able to come up with a more versatile material. We'd like to do more of that.
This April, a cutting-edge exhibition was held in Tokyo featuring the works of young rising designers paired with textile regions around the country. Miyaura was curator of the show. Well-versed in both fashion and textiles, he played the role of matchmaker for the designers and factories.
For some designers, this was their debut and their first textile factory visit. When people are new to something, they tend to have a lot of out-there ideas. That's part of the fun of working with first-time designers.
The show featured a piece made from Wada's lace textiles. Designer Yoshiki Hanzawa visited Wada's factory and communicated with them throughout the process. They were introduced, of course, by Miyaura.
Before visiting the factory, I thought they might only make straight strips of lace. But I learned they have wavy lace, wide lace, and even furry ones. They shared the ways their material can be used and how they can be combined. It was really helpful to receive their advice directly.
Miyaura invites designers to visit factories in hopes they will become more informed about a textile's origins. Designer Shota Nitsu approached Miyaura to discuss an original textile he's dreaming up for his next collection. Miyaura immediately thought of a factory famous for its Banshu jacquard weaving. At the factory, Nitsu shares his idea with the factory head.
I'm hoping to incorporate a lightning motif using jacquard. I'm thinking about the brightest part of the lightning, but I'm not sure how to show this frizzy expression of light.
Nitsu wants to display lightning using a special thread. Production of original material for his upcoming collection has begun.
Designers approach us with specifics regarding what they're looking for, which helps us come up with new ideas too. We think, well, what if we expand on the designer's idea and try this or that? It's great for us too to have them visit.
Next, Miyaura and Nitsu head to a factory specializing in scarves. This factory is unique in that it has a young staff that wishes to offer locally made products and share them with a wide audience. The team here is dedicated and open to new ideas. Miyaura believes network building among those of a similar age will be vital for these areas.
I feel we need to do our part to share more about our region and community. And it's also a joy to hear from young designers who come with great ideas for works they want to produce. It makes our work a lot more interesting.
Communicating directly with the factory seems to have given Nitsu new direction.
I might have an idea or a desire to make something, but it's not up to me to decide whether that something is possible. Being able to discuss with the craftspeople was great in moving the process forward. They advised me on how to improve the textile quality and shared things only they would know. This was a fantastic opportunity and experience for me.
In the fashion industry, many designers don't visit production regions very much anymore. They buy standardized fabric from large manufacturers. My hope is to invite designers to see the production in person and initiate conversations with the local artisans.
So Miyaura-san sees with his very eyes the techniques and the qualities that these artisans have, and then connects them to the designers himself, whom he believes match up best. But that's not it. Let's have a look at what else he's up to.
An old Japanese house in downtown Tokyo. This is home to Miyaura's showroom. Over 500 textile samples he's collected since 2012 are gathered here. Designers and buyers drop by daily to discuss all matters textile related. Miyaura finds the textile that best suits their needs and connects them with specific regions and factories. Another mission he holds dear is to nurture those who will support the textile industry in coming years. He hosts seminars inviting textile professionals to share their expertise. Participants range from designers to sales and product development professionals in the apparel business to students of fashion.
Those who gather here understand the state of the industry, yet they still have hope. They're willing to pay money to learn. There's a lot of passion there. And my goal is to widen that circle and connect those people with the local production regions. That's my priority.
His seminars are based on that same mission. Miyaura finds opportunities to take students on factory trips to witness textile making with their very own eyes. Here at this factory, half-century-old looms work full-time. There's a look and feel only old machines can achieve. This is one of the reasons Japan-made quality is now being recognized around the world. Students learn the manufacturing process from the craftspeople themselves and feel their way around the rare fabrics, making countless discoveries.
This is really thick and interesting. Wow, it's polyester.
Next, the group visits a dye processing factory. The textiles made here are recognized for their quality as the factory takes orders from famous fashion houses in Europe. Miyaura's tours, which place importance on direct exposure to the fabrics, are a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the students.
Being able to see the actual fabric helps to deepen the information in my head. I know I'll be using this experience moving forward.
It was a great learning experience. I'll be starting work in the apparel industry, and I hope to use what I've learned.
In working with the artisans, the most important things happen at the factories themselves. From learning how many steps there are in the process to seeing how long it takes, ideas are often born during the process. Making adjustments here, doing a little something there. There are hints all around, which is why it's so important to go to the factories.
Wow, so I'm excited. I'm on my way to see Miyaura-san and get my hands on the endlessly fascinating world of Japanese textiles. This is Sekoriso. Wow. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's good to see you. I'm Harry.
It's nice to meet you.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Good to see you, good to see you. Miyaura-san, just looking at the building, it's a beautiful building, isn't it? And just by looking at it, it kind of soothes my heart.
It's over 90 years old, so it does feel like time slows down a little.
So it will be fantastic to actually have a look inside and the textiles too.
Please, come in.
Thank you. So the stairs. Yes, wow. So this is your workplace. So many textiles. This is all from Japan?
Yes.
Just have a little look. Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Okay.
Different regions have different specialties. So we have this on the one hand and high-tech textiles on the other. Take this, for example. It's soft and has a fluffy feel.
Let me have a touch. Okay, it's very soft. Yes.
This uses thread made with a spinning machine from over 100 years ago, called a garabo. You don't see this much on the market these days.
This fabric it's incredible, isn't it? It's so soft and warm. Very warm, right? I almost feel like there's lots of humanity coming out of this. And looking at this too, it's got uneven layers. And you look at it and it's every single part is different.
The goal was to be able to mass produce the look and feel of manually spun, hand-woven material.
So this is what you define as handmade, made with the hands and also made with the heart, I would say. How would you describe Japanese fabrics with its magical powers, you know?
I frequently attend large textile trade shows held in Paris. And this year, I went to Shanghai as well. I look at the shows around the world and compare them to shows and factories in Japan. And what I'm seeing is that Japan excels at incorporating the latest technologies and efficiently making industrial, high-spec, high-tech fabrics. At the same time, the Japanese also make standout crafts like you see with extremely detailed traditional crafts. When it comes to pursuit of perfection in the low-tech world of classic crafts, Japan has a leg up there too.
And that's really pleasing from a Japanese perspective, because Nihon designer, Japanese designers, you know, we have factories outside of Japan, and sometimes we don't make our own stuff. But now it's changing. Japanese designers are also using all these incredible fabrics too.
Yes, that's right. Many young Japanese designers now want to highlight Made in Japan when launching their brands. And there's been an increase in the number of overseas buyers who drop by about once a month, and they have wishes to buy what they see here or make an original fabric from scratch.
I'm really looking forward to the future about what you're going to be managing to do with all these fabrics, you know. And then one day I might be able to see these fabrics on the market, right?
Yes, Japanese textiles are already making their way to famous fashion houses around the world. And my hope is that they start to flow freely in the domestic market as well.
You're on your way, man. So good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Speaking with Miyaura-san, the man himself, the passion is simply incredible. It's not an easy job, and you can't be half-hearted about this. But he's being successful, he's succeeding, and I can't wait to see what the future has for him, but most of all, these incredible Japanese fabrics. Next up is Behind the Mirror. Now, do you know what this is? This is a Japanese traditional button called kohaze. Look at it. It's so thin and it's also smooth. Now let's see what this tells us about Japanese culture and character.
This is a famous traditional dance in Japan called renjishi. The pair underneath the costumes is a father-daughter duo, both masters of Japanese dance. When they dance, it's never without their tabi, the classical Japanese footwear. You'll recognize tabi for the split between the big toe and second toe. Also, they use a fastening device called kohaze. The kohaze comes right up to the ankles, and they're symbolic of a Japanese aesthetic. First, let's try on a pair of tabi. The kohaze are tucked into inserts made by vertically sewn string. Might take a little getting used to, but it's actually easy as 1, 2, 3.
One characteristic of the tabi is that you can adjust the size based on which string inserts you decide to use. And because the kohaze are completely flat, they fit the feet snugly, without protruding out.
The kohaze is said to be the world's flattest button, and this flatness supports the fit. The Japanese find beauty in the smooth appearance. The kohaze has a 300-year history, taking on its current metallic form about 130 years ago. They come in all colors and sizes. Only 2 or 3 companies still make kohaze today. We visited one of them in Sasayama, 50 kilometers west of Kyoto. The kohaze made here features special wiring around the edges to prevent it from bending. To make kohaze, metallic plates such as brass are pressed into that famous shape, and the wire is wrapped simultaneously. It's a technique that's unique to this company. Next, the kohaze is polished, washed, and dried to achieve a golden shine.
Because of the kohaze, the tabi are easy on the feet, can be worn directly on bare feet, and fit nice and smooth.
The Japanese find beauty in flat surfaces, as seen in other settings. Kimonos, for example, are worn in ways that do not accentuate curves. And the famous traditional painting method of ukiyo-e emphasizes beauty on flat, even surfaces. But back to kohaze. See how they've evolved. This shop has become popular for modernizing traditional Japanese garments and accessories. These tabi shoes are meant to be worn outdoors, and they too feature kohaze. They can also be a stylish accent. The staff, of course, dons the footwear. They've been updated for modern times, but there's still that simple smoothness.
Tabi shoes are a traditional Japanese item, but they're now becoming popular with people of all ages, both domestically and globally.
The buttons are used as fasteners on accessories as well as hooks on shirt fronts. From classic dance to modern life, the Japanese have a thing for smooth, flat surfaces, and the kohaze is a subtle reminder of that aesthetic.
So tabi socks with kohaze may be a little difficult to walk in at first, but once you get used to it, I'll tell you, it's rather comfortable. So I recommend you to try it once. Yes, might be an experience. Next up, time for catwalk trends. Today we'll be focusing on some design duos with 3 very creative runway shows. Here we go then.
The theme of Takeshi Kitazawa and Emiko Sato's collection is I'm Sexy. They infuse sophisticated romance into 3 keywords: hiding, showing, and alone. Portrayed here is the part of the human psyche that wants to hide, while simultaneously peek out from beneath the facade. Every season, the duo blends various elements, bringing a mix of modern, minimal tailoring, and street to the runway. Showing skin at unexpected times and using an abundance of beige, the duo adds sensual nuances of nude to the collection. The day of Hiroyuki Horihata and Makiko Sekiguchi's show was met with unseasonal snow. The theme of their collection is Nagori, expressing the Japanese sentiment of cherishing moments to their final traces. Their motifs were inspired by the foliage of autumn, a season of nagori. Traces of fall fade gradually into winter, but not without a glorious color show. Their textiles highlighted the magnificence of soft hues found in nature. Models carried cherry blossoms in the finale, giving way to hope for the coming season. The final collection is by Hokuto Katsui and Nao Yagi. Titled Miss Gatsby, the pair turned the worldview of the Great Gatsby film into a representation of the modern woman. The women in their show are charming and powerful, with a penchant for luxurious frocks. Textiles featured prints ranging from sacred paintings to florals to newspapers layered with bright colors to bring forth a refreshing kind of cute. The show closed with a bang, featuring a collaboration with a UK fashion brand.
Last but not least, it's time for On the Street. Here are a few brilliant looks from our website. I'm loving your creativity, the flair, so keep the posts coming. So, cheerio, ta-ta, take care, and hope to see you next time round. Bye.
This program can be viewed on video on demand for the next 6 months.